So about a day ago, the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer 2 released, and obviously I broke down the first one, and I'm breaking down this one because it's Spider-Man, and I like talking about Spider-Man, so any chance I get. So yeah, so let's just get into it. The trailer starts off with Spider-Man coming in like flinging, and he crashes into a sign that says Jen's Pizza, if I'm correct. Some people were like, oh, it's like Joe's Pizza and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's Jen's. But it might be a nod. That would be a cool nod. But he starts fighting a scorpion, and he's basically like, something's going on with me. I don't know what's going on. And Scorpion, like, there's a pretty cool tail. Like, the tail, like, the way it extends, and then when Spider-Man's holding it and it shows a up-close shot, it's like, just the way the tail looks is really good. And Scorpion's like, do you miss me? But Spider-Man's eyes go black, and he kind of goes savage. So what I think is happening is, like, he's just, like, that's his, like, savage, like, survival mode. Like, that's how I've heard some other people, like, interpret it, like, survival mode. And I think that might be what it's happening, is, like, he's evolving, and part of that is, like, a survival mode that whenever, he's holding back and he's in danger or something, it kicks in and just lets go, because obviously Peter won't. But he, like, whips Scorpion into a cop car, and it was just, like, that was really cool. But then there's a little scene with Ned on his Instagram, and Peter's, like, obviously, like, looking at a video, and Ned's like, Zendaya, MJ, is like, who do you think watches this? And Ned's like, I don't know, someone. And she's like, by someone. And it's just like, that's gotta hurt. I also like that, like, what I think is gonna be in the movie. I like that aspect of, kind of, like, his friends, like, not knowing him, and just, like, all these different things just being against him. And, like, it's gotta suck. But I do like the idea of him, like, reforming his friendship with them, and maybe, like, they remember. And I know some people won't like it that, like, a movie later, like, they'll remember him and everything. But at the same time, like, I do not have a problem with that at all, because it's like, we don't really know. Like, obviously this movie's gonna make a bunch of money, but we don't know if there's gonna be another one. Like, we don't know if Tom Holland won't do it, or if one of the cast members won't do it, or, like, what happens in between this one and the next one. So, like, this very well could be, like, the last Tom Holland movie. I hope it's not, because I do really like this version of the character, and, like, this movie looks like it's just gonna be fantastic. But, like, the way they do it is, like, yeah, it's been 4 years in universe, so obviously there's been time away. And this is kind of, like, we pick up with the moment that maybe they remember him again. So it's like, yeah, there's been all this time, but we didn't really want to show that. So instead, we're going to show the moment that they remember him again. But I like it, because it's like, we don't know, like, they don't know if the contracts will hold, or, like, if we'll get another one. So it's like, why not try and do it? Like, I think they can do it. But then you get a scene with him putting on his web shooters, and then he kind of, like, starts, like, spasming, and, like, the web shooters get, like, just shot to the wall. And you get this close-up of the organic web, like, seeping through the hole in the suit. And I thought that was, like, kind of a cool image of, like, his organic webs forming. And then he's talking to Bruce Banner, and talking about, obviously, the device on his wrist, and how that kind of, like, keeps the Hulk at bay. And there's this little moment where he's like, if you ever see me with this without this on my wrist, run. And he's like, kind of like in Avengers Age of Ultron, when he's trying to pick up Mjolnir, he like, tries to fake out everyone, and he's just like, I'm not a big fan of Mark Ruffalo at all, as an actor, as a person, really. But him as Hulk, maybe that's because I grew up with him as the Hulk, but I've never had, like, the biggest problem with him as Hulk. And, like, there are movies that he plays Hulk that I'm just like, I don't really care. But for the most part, I think it's because there's a little bit of nostalgia for this Hulk. It's, like, the one role of his that I can, like, give a little leeway to. And I think that scene was pretty funny. But then you get a little bit more with him, where Pete's like, is there a way to get rid of the bad aspects while keeping the good? And Banner is just like, how would you decide what is good and what is bad? And while he's saying that, you get a little bit of a scene with Spider-Man swinging, and pigeons are getting stuck to him. And then he crashes into a wedding, which because of another thing that's going to be happening a little bit later in the trailer. I feel like there's a possibility that it could be John Jameson's wedding. You know, J. John Jameson's wedding. So I'll get to that. But then Banner just kind of like looks at him. He's like, "You're not one of my students, are you?" And when he says that, it cuts to Tom, and it has like this little music cue. That I don't know why, but it was like I really like that music cue. Like it was kind of like a dark like music cue, but I liked it. But then you get a little scene of Spider-Man webbing the tank and then dropping, and the tank goes over him, and he's holding onto the webs. And as the tank rolls by, he gets like dragged along with it. I thought that was really cool. You get the same shot of Tramell Tillman's character that you got before, and then you get a new shot of Sadie Sink in the hood, which obviously it doesn't show it's Sadie Sink, but it's Sadie. And then you get the tank crashing into a building, and then you get this really cool shot of, I'm guessing it's probably like a mind control wave, but it kind of originates from this island, and then it just blasts outward, and everyone like starts like freezing, and like they're playing the mannequin game, and then it shows Frank, obviously the Punisher, and he's moving. So I've seen people like, oh, how's he immune and everything, because right after that, Tramell is talking to Spider-Man, and he's like, "You're the only one immune to it." Which I'm guessing the reason he's immune to it is probably how he was immune to Doctor Strange's like body thing in No Way Home, like how he was able to still control his body, probably the spider sense or something. But the reason Frank is moving is because, as you can see, like people behind him are running away. So I'm guessing it probably didn't reach him, or it just hadn't reached him yet, and they showed you like the moment before he freezes. But then you get you get the scene at the wedding where the mind control and everything's going from body to body, and Spider-Man, it shows like inside his lens, like there's a tech thing where he can track where it's going, which is pretty cool. And then it goes into the helicopter pilot, and why I think this might be John Jameson's wedding is because on the helicopter, I almost said helicarrier, helicopter, it says John, and I didn't get the girl's name, but blank, just married. And like sure, it could just be John, but like I would like to assume it's John Jameson, just because like that would be cool. But then you get a scene where Peter's at the party that MJ and Ned are having, and he finds Ned's spider board, and like Ned walks in, and he's like, "Oh, I see you found my board. Don't worry, I'm not like creepy or anything." And MJ's like, he's a little bit like creepy or weird or whatever he said. But then there's this little moment where she's like, I'm MJ," and Ned's just like, "You guys don't know each other?" And then you get Spider-Man getting shot out of an alley, and there's this guy who's like, "Man, are you okay, Spider-Man?" And people have been saying like, "Is that guy Miles?" Like, no, it's not Miles. One, because that guy looks like older 20s, and if they were going to do Miles, they would probably for some reason want to keep him around a while, so he would probably be a teenager, and that guy just didn't look like a teenager. And I don't think like your first image of Miles Morales in the MCU is going to be that. Like either they would save it for the movie, or it would be a bigger deal in the trailers. I just hope Miles isn't in this movie, because I'm not a big fan of Miles, and I just really don't want to be seeing him in this one. But then it shows a little bit more of body hopping, and this one guy walks past, and he's just like, "I think I'm gonna go check on MJ, like see MJ, see how she's doing," kind of just being like, "I know, like this girl that you like, I know stuff about you," which I think that's gonna be really cool. It's probably Jean Grey, Sadie Sink. Like I think we all think it's Jean Grey, and it probably will be. But I really like the idea of someone knowing who he is, and like that's gotta be kind of creepy to him, because it's just like how does this person know? And Tom Holland said that they were trying to make this movie a little bit more like detective-y. And I think that's really cool. I really like detective stuff, and I think that seeing Spider-Man do a little bit more detective stuff, which isn't something we've really seen done, is going to be pretty cool. But then you get this cool little shot of a puddle on the ground, and it's got Pete in it, and it's like kind of like like with shockwaves kind of moving, and people like, oh, it's like the Jurassic Park water scene. Like it kind of looks reminiscent to that, which is kind of cool. And then you get Pete looking at Banner's wrist thing, and it's broken off and everything, and he's just like, you're not gonna get away with this, and Banner's like, he might. And then it shows him transforming into the Hulk, and the Hulk like standing above Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's like, I didn't know you could get that big. And then you got him thunderclapping, and Spider-Man goes like flying. I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see Spider-Man fight the Hulk, mostly because I'm betting Spider-Man will probably beat him in this movie, and that would just be really cool to see Spider-Man beat one of the original 6 Avengers, kind of again, because I mean, he was fighting Captain America, and like it was kind of a stalemate, but he was beating him a good bit. Iron Man, I don't think he fought at all. Black Widow and Hawkeye, Thor. So it would be like the first like original member of the Avengers that he would like beat. It would just be cool to see him fight another one, is what I'm saying. But then you get Spider-Man showing up to MJ's place, and he's like, I need you to trust me. You're in danger. I need you to come with me. Like, please trust me. And she's like, okay. And then you get a little scene with them swinging. And someone kind of like had talked about it where it's like in previous swinging scenes, MJ was like kind of scared and like holding on to him. But now, like, she's like looking around and everything. And it's kind of like she might not know it, but she's like familiar with Spider-Man, and she's got like this. Maybe she's been here before and she trusts him and everything, and I think that's a really cool thing, if it's intentional. And then you get Spider-Man showing up to Frank and just being like, I don't have anywhere else to go. I need you to keep her safe, which I think is really cool, which means Frank might even have a bigger part in the movie. But then you get Aunt May having a voiceover, and while she's saying what she is, you get a scene of Pete in street clothes, not the spider costume, in street clothes, like swinging across the city, and then he does this cool like falling scene, and like it looks so cool. And MJ has a scene with Frank where she's like, are you just gonna like leave him alone to do, like, are you not gonna help him? Which I think that's also kind of cool, getting like a way to bring Frank into whatever it is. It looks like he's gonna have a bigger role, which is really cool. I think that it's gonna be really awesome seeing Spider-Man and Punisher's dynamic, Spider-Man and Hulk's dynamic. It'd be cool if they kind of teamed up to defeat the Hulk. Like, I don't know exactly what Frank would do, but it would be kind of cool. And leading into the next scene, you get Spider-Man in the prison with the hand. I really hope Daredevil's in the scene. Like, it would be so cool to have Daredevil in a movie with Spider-Man and Punisher. And then you get a scene with Frank yelling, if you're going to do something, you better do it now. And as he says that, Pete's eyes go black, savage mode in the jail. And then you get him fighting the hand with his mask on, and he's fighting them. There's some cool, like, sword play, and, like, they have, like, these electric things, which are really cool. And then you get him without the mask again, so it's, like, it's kind of weird, how they're doing it, because, like, in one scene he has the mask off, in this one he has one, and the mask on, and then in this next one he doesn't have it on. So, but I think the fight's going to be longer than some people think. But then he gets, the scene where he does, like, a web blossom, where he's on the ceiling, he jumps down and, like, spiraling and like webbing them all up. That's really cool. And then you get a scene at Maeve's grave, where he kind of just like has his hand and like touches the grave, and he's like, I miss you. And then you get a little scene with Spider-Man and Hulk flying, like they like crash out of a building and going down, and Hulk's like all webbed to debris. You get Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then you get this little scene which is really fun where he's like, okay, give me a minute. I'm going to stretch. I'm not in high school anymore. You guys stretch? It's really good for you. Okay, I'm ready. And then he, like, takes a couple of them out. And, like, I think that's cool, too. They're going to have, like, clips and everything. But, this trailer was amazing. The first trailer is amazing. This movie's going to be amazing. Like, every time I see something for this movie, which isn't a bunch, because they're being very secretive, but obviously, like, in the next month, it's going to be, like, a whole marketing push. Like, that's usually what happens, is there's going to be, like, clips on TV and everything and blah, blah, blah. There's going to be 1 or 2 other trailers, and we're going to get more information. But, like, I just can't wait for this movie. It has a very real chance, of being one of my favorite movies ever. Like, seriously, like, it's basic, but my top 3 favorite movies are the 2 Tazza movies and then Spider-Man No Way Home. I just love this character. This movie, I think without a doubt, is, unless it like absolutely sucks, but I don't think that's gonna happen, is gonna be better than No Way Home. And there's a chance they can be better than Amazing Spider-Man 1. Now, it's going to have to take a lot to do that, but I think there's a chance. So, this could very well be one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm just extremely excited to see it. But yeah, this trailer was really good. First trailer was really good. If you guys have any theories or anything, put them in the comments, because I would like to hear some other people's theories, see if like, oh yeah, that makes sense or whatever. And I really hope that Daredevil's in it. Like, I really hope, like, even if it's just like a little cameo or something in the prison scene, like, I really hope he shows up. Like, that would be amazing. And then if the next one is an actual like full Daredevil Spider-Man team up, that would be even better. But yeah, I'm just extremely excited to see this movie and like how it's all gonna go down and everything. But yep, that's my thoughts on the trailer. And I will see you soon for Toy Story 5. So I'll see you for that one. And peace out.